Hi everyone! So today I thought I would go for a simple flip cup with Manganese Blue Hue and Quinacridone Magenta and a tiny bit of Dyarilide Yellow. I think it's going to be a nice and contrasting combo, especially the blue and the yellow and the blue and the purple will contrast nicely with the yellow, which is a mustardy yellow, so yellow-orange a little bit. And yeah, I think they will both contrast nicely. And I figured out in my last painting that Manganese Blue Hue and Quinacridone Magenta are a lovely combo, and I just love it, so I wanted to try it again, and that's what I'm doing today. And for that, I mixed, I have all fluid paints today. I mixed my paints the usual way, so basically 30% paint, 70% medium, and about 15% water in the colors. No water in the white. And the reason for that is zinc white is a very dense paint because of its pigment in it. The pigment is zinc oxide, and zinc oxide is quite dense. It has a density of 5 grams per centimeter cube, over 5 grams actually. So imagine you have a centimeter cube of pigment and you weigh it, and that would weigh about 5 grams. And the other paints I have, Quinacridone Magenta and Dyarilide Yellow, are around 1 gram. And this here is a pigment mix. It must be a little dense because it has zinc white in it, but it also has phthalo green and phthalo blue. So imagine you have a centimeter cube of those pigments, but mixed together. And we don't know in which quantity they were mixed together, so it's kind of hard to know what that centimeter cube of pigment mix would weigh. So I'm guessing it's heavier than the purple and, the magenta and the Dyarilide Yellow because of the pigment used in it, especially the zinc white. But yeah, actually I'm pretty sure it's heavier, but I just don't know exactly how much heavier. But I do know it's going to be lighter than the zinc white because that centimeter cube of pigment is not just zinc white, it has phthalo green and phthalo blue mixed in, so it's going to be lighter. So yeah, that's about it. I'll zoom you in and we'll get started with that. Alright, so what I did is I mixed my zinc white right in the cup. So all I have to do is add my other paints in that cup. I probably mixed a little bit too much paint, but that's okay because I have a gallery wrapped canvas and those edges are quite deep and I want to cover them properly, because to me the edges of a canvas are very often the continuation of the painting. So let's lift this. Cover the corners. And I'll give you a time lapse while I cover my sides. Alright, so I'm quite happy with the composition of this painting. I like the overall movement, the shape. I love that there's white in the middle, the yellow is on one side, the blue and purple magenta is on the other side, and there's a couple of lines of yellow here interlaced with purple and white. I love it. Most of these colors are transparent. The Dyarilide yellow is semi-transparent, I guess. But the opacity of the paint has nothing to do with its density. Like the zinc white, for example, is really, really transparent, but is super dense. And the Quinacridone Magenta, for example, is really transparent, but also, no, not also, but it's quite light in density. And the Dyarilide yellow is one of the lightest pigment out there, and it's semi-transparent. So the opacity has nothing to do with the density. And why is the density important? Well, in this painting I didn't get really big cells, but I mean it's still changing, and I've got a couple of smaller cells. But if you look carefully, the cells are where the white ended up over the other colors. And when the white, the zinc white, ends up over lighter colors, it wants to sink into them, while the lighter colors want to float. And that creates the cells, because the lighter colors will float up in a cell-like pattern. And also, playing with the density of the paint, playing with the consistency of the paint, I think helps. That's why I add water. Well, it's one of the reasons why I add water in my colors and no water in my white. The other reason for the water is water has a lighter density than paint, so it helps the colors to cell up, and it helps the white to want to sink into them. Basically, that's it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this painting. I sure enjoyed the color combination and the composition of it. I think it's quite special. I love the kind of gradient here, like under the white, but the white is going to dry pretty transparent, so can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see how this is all going to settle, because as I said, it's still changing. Probably for the best too. So basically I like how the paints just work for me. I like how physics works for me. And I'm pretty happy with this. And we're back, and I'm a happy painter. As I said, really like the composition of this painting. I love the waves and the gradient in the middle, the white splotch, and just the overall shape. I think is very interesting. And yeah, so let me know if you enjoyed the talk on density and me kind of trying to explain well, basically the way I explained it. If you liked it, let me know if you have questions. I would be more than happy to answer them. There's no dumb questions, so don't be afraid to ask. As my teachers used to say, there is probably someone in the class, or in the audience in this case, that is wondering the same thing but is just too shy to ask. But please do ask. I would be happy to help and answer those questions to the best of my ability. And yeah, that's about it for today. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And on that note, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day. Make sure to subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!